Hi, welcome to the Day and Night Podcast. My name is Cody Klayman.
I'm Freshman Feek.
Let's get it started off with, how was your week, man? You work hard or hardly work?
Man, week is pretty good. Still working from home. Happy to have a job. Lucky right now. Gyms are opening back up, so I'm proud about that. Got back in there this week, trying to get back to my swole shit.
Okay. How is it with, do they wear masks and stuff inside? Or
right, yeah.
What's the rule with that?
As soon as you get in, you have to have a mask. Well, it's actually pretty crazy. So everybody wears a mask when you're in there, but they take your temperature as soon as you walk in. Like they have a little temperature check gun on your forehead. I don't even know how accurate it is because it's like a half a second. Like, oh, okay, I know you don't have coronavirus. Like, I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, it's something. Yeah, so that's cool. Gym back popping, working from home. Yesterday was my niece's birthday, so that was fun, just hanging out with her. And cool. How about your week? How's your week going?
It's good, working hard, got back in the groove of things. Went back to, the grindstone last week, and it's been good. It's a little bit different, how, just work in general, how everything is. And the lifestyle and everything of that sort, it's just so different. It's crazy. Just the whole sanitation, the whole how they handle things. Everything is just totally different.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's for the better, better of the evil. I mean, they even Disneyland was supposed to open up, I think, in 2 weeks, and they postponed that also.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so it's indefinitely until everything settles down. So
well, I mean, because the cases in a couple of states, I think 13 states, are going back up now.
Yeah, so, Texas, they just shut down their bars, and they didn't open their clubs, but they closed down their bars again, and Florida and a couple other states shut down as well. So
yeah,
I mean, personally, I think it's going to be California next. I mean, you think they're going to shut down?
They said LA County has the highest number of cases, I think it's new cases, the highest number of new cases out of all the counties in the country. So I don't know if that's because we have a lot of people in this county, which we do. LA County is, highly populated. But, I mean, yeah, that is kind of scary to know. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just think the whole U.S. handled it different. I mean, other countries aren't even allowing us into their country.
Right now, Europe is saying
they don't want us in their country because they know we're reckless.
It's the American way, man.
I mean, they said America. That, right? They said that the second wave is coming, but the first wave never really even left.
And I think because other countries, the way they handle it, it's very centralized. So when the president says this is what we're going to do, the whole country falls in suit. Like even China, where it started, they have the power. Which
you're arrested, fined. Like it's a serious thing. And that comes with pros and cons. Having a totalitarian government or authority, strong authority government is that it's bad because it does infringe on people's rights. But then during a crisis, they can have a unified set of action. When the government says we're doing this, everybody's doing it. Here, the way our leadership decided to handle it is that Trump said every state can do what they want. You know what I mean? So every state look at your own data numbers, and if you feel like it's necessary to close, you close, and if you feel like it's necessary to remain open but just social distance, you do that. The problem with that is the virus keeps traveling around because some states are open. It doesn't take a break. It's not like, you guys are easing it. Okay, we're going to go away. And it just keeps going and raising.
Yeah, and the fact that people can travel from state to state. So somebody could have been in, say, California was still locked down, but people in Florida were out there and they're loose. So if they come to California, now there's somebody who wasn't quarantined the whole time. So,
I mean, in China, I don't know if you heard about that, but there was 2 cases. Just 2 people had the virus, and they shut down that whole city in China. So it's like they take it so serious when it's only 2 cases. I mean, our cases, we are having thousands of cases a day.
Then again, I don't know if I believe China's numbers.
Yeah, true. I mean, they did say
when they say 2, it's probably 2,000. Yeah, but they're gonna report it, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
that is crazy though.
Yeah, it is crazy. Did you hear about the whole Sean King trying to remove the whole, Jesus Christ, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Thomas Jefferson?
I did. I feel that. Well, what do you think about it? Let's start with you.
I mean, you can't remove Jesus.
Did he say that though? Did he say remove Jesus? I think he was leaning.
He said I want to remove the statues,
like of Jesus, and it represents slavery, and same with Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt. Like they're taking down all this stuff. That's history. Like
true. I think in terms of the Jesus depiction, I think what he's addressing is, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong either way. I have my own personal beliefs about it, but the image of white Jesus, right? Because we know, based on like historical information, that Jesus wasn't white, because he was born in like the Middle East, and during that time there were no white people there. like it's a historical fact that he wasn't white. So what Sean King, I think, is addressing is that these images, like to change him into a blue-eyed white guy with long straight hair, it's kind of like to subjugate and to give the impression, I guess during slavery, we were given white Jesus here in America to give us the image that like God is white. Here we have this white Jesus, and it kind of programs your brain to think inferior of yourself and see another person as superior. But that's, you know what I mean?
I mean, they've had white Jesus for thousands of years, you know?
No. I think the white depiction of Jesus isn't that old.
I don't think that there's just the white Jesus. Like when I was kind of like looking online and I read the article, there is like in India, they don't have a white Jesus. It's like it looks different. In other countries, there's different types of Jesuses, you know, with a little bit of tint on their skin, a little bit of things like that.
Yeah, if you go in the South, out here, like a lot of black families, not every black family, but a lot of black families have black Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like you want to represent God to look like you.
Yeah.
You know,
in your culture and what you believe in and stuff like that.
Right. So I think that's what he's addressing. I don't think he wants to like get rid of Christianity. You know what I mean?
Well, like, I mean, they're graffitiing all these statues and trying to knock them down. Trump said he's going to give you 10 years in prison if you do it.
Well, he said if you burn the flag, like if you burn.
No, he also said that if you knock down the statue.
Yeah. I mean that is something else, because that's like private property. You know, so if you defame or destroy property, but in terms of burning the flag, like he literally can't.
That's just disrespectful.
But it may be, but that's your opinion and that's his opinion. But somebody else is still protected in their First Amendment. So if they buy up a flag and they want to burn it, they have the legal right to do that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, because that's an act of protest. So you can protest in the country. It's protected.
Yeah,
in the Constitution. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that you should take down history, though. I think that's doing a little, too much. Like, we should focus on, what's going on right now. But I don't think we should take down history. Like, that's kind of where we all started to get to this point. And it just shows you progress. It shows you where we came from, where we're at. I personally don't. I think that's doing too much. I mean, that's history. Like,
so it can fall into different categories. So in terms of, like, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, the people who were presidents, you know what I mean? Presidents of the United States. Yes, they may have owned slaves, but, I see your argument that it's part of our history. In terms of, like, we have statues of the Confederate
Army. Yeah, well, what? I don't really understand that. Like, what is the Confederate flag? Why is everybody taking it down? Like, what's the big deal with the Confederate flag?
So the Confederate flag represents the Confederacy. The Confederacy during 1861, when the country was talking about, we got to get rid of slavery, you know what I mean? They were the states. It was Texas, South Carolina. I forgot all the states, but some certain amount of states were like, no, we're not getting rid of slavery, because that was a big part of their economy, and they're just racist motherfuckers, you know what I mean? So we have the Civil War. So the Civil War was the United States, the country, all the rest of the states that were pushing forward to get rid of slavery, and I think it was 13 or 15. I don't know how many states there were. They seceded from the country. They were like, if y'all are gonna get rid of slavery, we're gonna form our own country. So Texas, South Carolina, Florida, maybe, I'm not sure which, but like a couple states band together and they removed themselves from the United States. They tried to secede. And we went to war with the America against the Confederacy. They lost, of course. And then we let them back in the country, but we're like, this is how we're moving forward. So that flag literally represents the states that wanted to keep slavery. They were fighting for slavery not to be abolished. You know what I mean? So that's why when black people see that flag, that's what we see it as. Like the people who waged war, and it's treasonous too. Like they went to war against, like they said, people who say, "Oh, America first,"
so why the fuck are you supporting the Confederate flag? Those are people who went to war with America and they lost. You know what I mean?
I think it's just been there for so long that it hasn't really been like a main focus. It's been there. It's history.
But people have been preaching. It hasn't been mainstream, but people have been wanting those statues to go down since the Civil War ended. You know what I mean? And a lot of those statues didn't even go up during the Civil War. Some of them, those monuments of Robert E. Lee, and some of these were produced in the 1960s during the Civil Rights. It was a direct response to the Civil Rights movement, like a slap in the face. Like, oh, you guys want equal rights? We're going to put up all these monuments of the soldiers who fought to keep slavery. They wanted slavery in the country. You know what I mean? So and then the argument on the other side is that, oh, the flag doesn't just represent that. It just represents our history, our Southern pride and shit like that, states' rights. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but yeah, I see it as a flag of hate, though.
Okay. Well, what else you got for us this week?
Let's see. Oh, I read something on my way here that Trump signed an executive order for federal hiring, meaning that he's urging the federal hiring process to not put a focus on college degrees or what college you went to, so not your credentials, but more on your job skills and experience. So I found that interesting because I don't know, I kind of see it both ways. When you're hiring somebody, you want to make sure they can do the job, like, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that they're qualified to do the job that you're hiring them for. But then again, is this bill, it's only for federal jobs right now, but it could expand and it could urge employers to do the same, like private employers. Do you think it's going to render our college degrees like useless? Like, do you think kids should still be going into college right now, or after high school should they just start gaining experience, try to work somewhere, you know what I mean, try to get an internship and build your job experience? What do you think?
I mean, I think having a degree, it shows that you were able to finish something you started. It shows that you can tell when somebody has a master's degree and has a high school degree. Mm-hmm. You can tell the education level. So even if you don't really need the degree, which a lot of people say, most of the people that say that didn't finish college said, oh, you don't need the degree.
Right.
But the people that did finish college, you can tell how their education is. You can tell it's just a different mindset, you know? You just learn a lot more, and I think absolutely you should have a college degree. The education level, things of that sort is totally different.
But are you going to use it? Like, are you, like, right now, your degree that you have, are you implementing that within your job? Because I'm, like, my degree is not aligned with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people go to college and they graduate, but they don't use their degree. You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, it's rare to find a job in your actual degree nowadays. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. Like if you're doing accounting or anything of that sort in the specialty, 100% you should have a degree.
True, of course. Yeah, there's certain jobs
that's a specialty you need to have a degree.
Facts.
But like these companies that are making it mandatory for you to have a degree, and you're making like a little bit more than minimum wage.
Yeah,
is just like $20 an hour for having a degree and working 55, 60 hours a week.
Yeah,
that's just not necessary.
Right.
You know, so I think it depends on the job that you're doing. You know.
Yeah. So
some of these jobs are, you know, but see, the thing is that the job market, there's so many people that there's such a high demand for jobs that's the really only way to kind of narrow down the funnel is by making a degree mandatory. Because if they said, oh, no degree is mandatory, they're going to have thousands of people applying for one position.
That makes sense. So it kind of just weeds out all the unnecessary applicants.
Exactly.
So to speak.
So it's not just the education, it's more allowing there to be less competitors, less applicants.
All right, now with that being said, do you think individuals going into college should focus on the actual school they go to still? Like, do you think it still matters if you get your degree from Loyola Marymount versus UCLA versus Harvard? You know what I mean? Like, is the name, because that comes with a price too. You know what I mean? So once you graduate, depending on where you go, could be the difference on if you are entering the workforce with $30,000 in debt or $300,000 in debt. You know what I mean? So do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good point.
Yeah. That's like an investment, pretty much. You know what I mean? A lot of people like when they graduate from Harvard and stuff like that. Maybe not Harvard, but a lot of these schools that have extremely high tuitions, or you go out of state. And
well, it's a different type of. I mean, I've never been to like a Harvard or a Yale or anything like that. I think they are a lot stricter. I think it's just that one extra step that puts you over somebody else. So if you have the same grades, you both have a degree in the same thing, you have the same work experience, your interview is just as good, you guys are both great competitors or applicants, you going to a more superior score is that one step that allows you to get the position.
Unless the other individuals daddy's cousin's uncle
exactly pays you off and does stuff like that,
or works like in another department at the company and knows you and gives you, you know what I mean,
gives you money.
So a lot of the hiring process nowadays is just who you know.
It's true. The whole scandal with USC, UCLA, all the upper schools. I mean, but we already knew that.
We knew that was going on.
Like we knew it. I mean, they're getting in trouble, but everybody knows that. Like when these famous people get into school, we know like
it's because you know what I mean. Yeah,
they paid them off. Like there's like USC, like their income or like just the school is just beautiful.
Yeah, the campus is
you know, but I mean they charge high tuition and things of that sort. I think that it is a different type of education system that you learn at like a USC rather than, you know, a smaller state college. But then again, at the same time, it's like you're learning the same subject. What's so different? Like in your opinion, what's so different between a UCLA or USC UCLA and a junior college or UC or something like that?
I guess the argument is that their professors, like the quality of education you're getting is superior.
But there's still classes that are 40, 50, 150 people in one classroom.
True. So their argument is that actual professor that works at USC, he's a better, I guess, a better teacher than the person who's going to be teaching the class at the junior college. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because when I had some of my college professors at the university also taught at Pierce, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same thing with me.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure that's the case, like even at UCLA or USC, I'm sure they have other, you know, teaching guy.
I think it's a stigma. Yeah. Honestly, like they've had this supreme, you know, name for themselves, and it just kind of continued on. Yeah. More or less. So I think it's just going to be like that. I think it's because the campus is bigger. It's in a nicer neighborhood. Just like, you know, you go to a Sherman Oaks, Beverly Hills, houses are more, it could be the same house, but in a different area, and the other one is a lot cheaper. Yeah. So I think it's just because it's in the area, it's more money, more supreme, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I guess just the name, you know, the people that come out of it, a lot of times their athletic program kind of puts them on the map, like UCLA, USC. I know their academics is popping, but in terms of branding and marketing, to make people want to go to UCLA or USC,
it's a different type of tier of people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. Hey, did you hear about the 1 in 3 pilots in Pakistan? I think they said something like 1 in 3 pilots in Pakistan have fake licenses for aviation. That's what the minister said.
1 in 3. 1
in 3 people.
33%.
Yeah, 33%.
So if I take a flight out of Pakistan, you're telling me there's a 33% chance
they don't have a license.
And my pilot don't know what the fuck
he doesn't have a license.
Guess where I won't be going.
Yeah, that's crazy. I read about that. I was like, that's wild.
How do you think they even finesse it? That's got to be a scandal then. Like they're working with the people who are like the government agency or whatever who's awarding these licenses. They probably know somebody who works there. You just writing.
I don't know.
Some fucking.
All I know is that's wild.
That's hella crazy. Bro.
That's wild. What else you got for us this week?
I'm just saying. Hold on. Let's stick to this. If that's a known fact, like, shouldn't other countries have power to chime in and regulate that? Because flights in Pakistan don't just stay in Pakistan. You know what I mean?
They fly everywhere else in the world.
And they pick up people from all over to come to Pakistan when they want to visit or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think that's like an international issue, not just a Pakistan issue.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it will turn up to be something big. Maybe it'll be something small. But I saw that on the news and I was like, what? That's wild.
Wild, bro. That's wild. No, I want to talk about the fucking NBA coming back.
Hey, let's go.
Bro, but
finally.
Hopefully, bro.
Lakers.
Did you hear?
I think somebody got COVID already, right?
Bro, out of the 3, I forgot to write this down, but 5%. I think there's 302 players that are going into the bubble. I don't know the exact number, but 5% of those players tested positive for COVID. So it's still early enough where they can quarantine
and stuff like that.
before the start of it, because it's going to start the late July. But yeah, so that's interesting. Do you think it's going to work, bro? Their whole setup and system with the bubble and staying on.
I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I know that they came out with this ring that you put on your finger.
I saw that.
That
smart
basically,
ring.
Yeah, smart ring. It lets you know whether you have the virus or the likelihood you're going to get it, something of that. They have that. I know they're going to do testing all the time. I think it's going to be a lot different because they're going to be confined to a smaller space in Orlando rather than like traveling around, being with their family, walking out and about. They're going to be kind of confined to that area. So I think it's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I'm excited to see some live sports. I mean, although I really enjoyed the whole 30 for 30s and seeing the Michael Jordan documentary, the Lance Armstrong documentary. There was I think it was Barry Bonds versus Mark McGwire.
Wait, Lance Armstrong is the
that got caught for steroids.
The tricyclist, right? Or something?
Yeah, the Tour de France.
Tour de France.
He won I think 6 or some crazy amount.
They mentioned that in the 30 for 30.
In the 30 for 30, yeah, it was a whole thing got it, and he got interviews from his friends and family.
Yeah,
he talked about it and the whole history.
So he admits to it, or
he did. He said that everyone in the industry, everyone that was doing the cycling, was doing it. So he said that he trained so hard, he worked his ass off, day in and day out to train for the Tour de France, which is I think a couple week thing. It's a couple 100 miles. It's insane. It's absolutely incredible.
Is it the it's not the
triathlon? I think it's
the triathlon where you swim.
I think it tries the triathlon.
It's triathlon.
Yeah. And intense, he came in second place by 1 second.
Wow.
And the other guy took the steroids.
And he didn't.
And he didn't. And I think it was something crazy. He lost to be in second place 3 or 4 times, and it was all because the other guy did steroids. I can't remember his name, but
why did they get caught though? Or that was before they started testing for steroids?
It was before they started testing for steroids. So as soon as Armstrong started doing it, so what happened was the person who did I think it was Russia, or I didn't watch the full thing in detail. I just watched an episode or two.
Fuck it, synopsis.
Yeah. So basically, that guy invited Armstrong to do the steroids, and then everyone started doing them, and then they started getting everybody in trouble, and then it was just a domino effect from there.
Yikes.
But I mean, I still think he's a total athlete, and he was doing amazing, but I think that he was coming in second, third, fourth place, and he wanted to be number one.
Yikes. Damn. I mean, when you're in that situation, what do you do if everybody else is doing it?
See, and that's the thing is
now you're at a disadvantage. Yeah, now you're at a disadvantage.
He was in a predicament of what do I do? You know, I can't beat these guys unless I. And it wasn't a steroid. I think it was a vitamin, or what he did was he took his blood out of himself, and he stored it and put it back in himself.
Got you. So he probably enriched it with extra,
some type of vitamins and things of that sort. So it was a pretty big thing.
Probably shit that makes you breathe longer, because oxygen ultimately goes into your bloodstream. You know what I mean? But I'm super hyped for the NBA season. I think that should be really exciting. You got the Lakers. I think they're definitely going to take it over. Laker gang, baby.
Yep, for sure.
Bron gonna get his 4th ring this year.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to discredit him though.
Yeah, they're gonna be he wanted
shortened season.
Yeah, they're gonna come up.
Shit.
You already know that's gonna be a big long thing.
We already know.
You already know it's gonna be a big long thing. But at the end of the day,
for it. You saw they released a schedule too.
I know they
Lakers
released
and Clippers first game.
Man, it's gonna be good.
I fucking hate the Clippers, bro. Fucking hate them.
I mean, I think I'm just excited to see live sports.
But about the bubble, though, I was going to ask you, how do you feel? Because the NBA is giving players an option,
right?
But they're giving players an option. They have until I think the 24th of this month to. Oh shit, we might be already past that. But they're giving them an option pretty much to say if they're going to be attending or not attending.
I think the date already came up. I think Lou. Was it Lou Williams or
no? Avery Bradley.
Bradley, yeah. Bradley
said so.
And then Kyrie and KD, but
they weren't going to play anyway.
But they really weren't going to play anyway.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I think if LeBron stepped out and was like, no, I don't want to play because, the whole protesting and stuff like that, the whole league would have not played.
That's what Patrick Beverly tweeted out. Remember,
LeBron has so much power and so much authority,
as he should, man.
I mean, he's gained the respect, but I'm telling you, whatever he does is such an impact in anything he does. If LeBron literally, if he said no, I'm not going to do it, then the whole league wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because Pat Beverly tweeted that too. He said, "Man, Hoopers, y'all can say what y'all want, and then he added King. But if King James say we're hooping, then we hooping.
Exactly.
And it's not personal; it's just business." And I couldn't agree more, man. He earned it. He's been the best player in the league for unquestionably for the past 10 years, arguably the last 15 years. In the league right now, some people think KD might be better than him right now. I'm a KD fan. But I don't know, Bron, just his effect on the team is...
It's just incredible. Crazy. I think one thing that... He has a show at the barbershop. Mm-hmm. You ever seen that?
I've seen a little bit of it,
Yeah. I haven't really seen it, but I know, that's kind of where he talks about things. And he was talking about how he felt like he was God after he won the Cleveland versus... Warriors thing, he came back from 3-1 and broke history. Yeah. I think it was like 50-0 or something when trailing. I mean, just
in the finals, though.
In the finals.
Because remember, the series right before that, the Warriors came back down, which is crazy, isn't it? The Warriors came back down from 3-1 against the Thunder. Remember, KD and Westbrook were winning 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Warriors came back and won 4 straight. I don't know if that was the first time ever done in playoffs history.
No, I think
it's done before. It can be a couple times.
Yeah.
And then in the finals, they go up 3-1 and then they lose.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No, because I think LeBron was the one who broke the history.
No, in the finals.
Yeah. In the finals.
Yeah, okay. But the Warriors, the Thunder blew a 3-1 lead the series before, and that's why people were so mad at Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
it's like they beat you coming down 3-1, and you're gonna go join them. You know what I mean? They were so mad for it because that was the season right before he joined.
That is just crazy to me. Like the respect factor after LeBron did that is insane.
Yeah,
like just being able to single-handedly, I mean, he had some good teammates and things of that sort, but to single-handedly come back from a 3-1 lead against maybe the best team that's ever been
ever hit the court,
ever been on the court together,
73-9 team.
That is insane. I mean, they had the best record, they had the best play. I mean, they had everything on that team, and for the King LeBron James to come back from a 3-1.
Mama, there goes that man.
That is just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is.
His performance, bro. I think he led, even the year before when the Warriors won, I think he should have got MVP, bro. Even on the losing team. He led every single player in that finals in every single category.
Who won?
The Warriors, when the Warriors beat them
but
first.
Who got the...
Andre Iguodala, remember?
Oh, well, I think it goes with whoever won.
Yeah, I mean, but in that case, though, I think they needed to break that rule,
needed to. Like, that was...
Because I think it's been done before. It's been done before. I think Bill Russell, I think he won Finals MVP on a losing team. It's been done a couple times, but it's very, very rare. But I think that was one of those times where it should have been done. Like, the dude led both teams in points, both teams in rebounds, both teams in assists. I'm like, what the fuck? Monster.
I mean, unbelievable. The guy's incredible. I mean, I think that he's in his zone right now. I think that for sure he's going to win this year.
You think so? I'm a little worried, though.
With AD and him, like, it's not going to... I mean, but then again, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
You know? But I just... He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he just has so much... he's just so amazing. And people are always talking about, like, oh, who's better, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron... you see the pictures and everything like that. It's an era thing.
Yeah.
Jordan was the best in his era. Kobe was the best in his era. Now LeBron is the best in his era.
Yeah.
Now whoever's best after that is, in their hands. But it's different competition, different levels of play.
Yeah.
Like Jordan's
different styles of
play. Yeah. Like they never pulled up from half court and shot 3-pointers. It was all inside game. I think I saw statistics where I'm talking about like most of the points now are scored in the NBA are from the 3-point line.
3-point line or in the paint.
The
mid-range game is like...
Exactly. It's all shooting now.
It's almost non-existent.
So, like, if Jordan were to play in this era, it's going to be completely, totally different. If Kobe played in the previous era... Now, I'm sure they'll still do good, but it was just completely different.
They say, somebody was saying, I think a couple, like when the Jordan documentary came out, people were saying if Jordan played in our era, he would average 45 points a game for the season.
I don't know.
No, I'm gonna flat out and say, it's kind of blasphemous, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
so that's trying to say because that's like a what's it called? So let's look at it like a ratio then, right? So if I think one season he averaged like 37, which is crazy. I think like 38, 37.
But I think the scoring was lower too, right?
Scoring was lower, and so that means Kevin Durant right now is averaging like 30. So that means he would average less points than that going backwards. You know what I mean? Like all the players that are averaging 30, 35, it's a scale. So if Jordan was averaging 37, he would average 45 now. So bring everybody else down 7 points. So whatever people are averaging right now, you're saying that LeBron is going to only average 23 in that era? Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant, I think he's the best scorer of all time, just scoring the ball.
I mean, he's like 7 feet and he's pulling up from 3. You can't guard that.
Can't guard it, bro.
Can't guard it at all.
Can't guard it.
You know? But I'm not gonna lie, I really miss watching Kobe. Like I really like.
Rest in peace, man.
I really miss Kobe. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
bro,
and this whole thing started from when Kobe's helicopter crashed.
2020.
Kobe's helicopter crashed, then it went to coronavirus, then the protesting and riots, and there was also the fires in like the Amazon, which burned like almost half of that. I mean, we're only like halfway into the year.
It kind of seems like it moved quick. I don't know, because of this whole quarantine shit. Every day blends together. You know
insane.
What I mean? But
it's almost tells you like
about to be over.
What's gonna happen next?
Shit, I don't know.
You know,
our economy's still.
I mean,
shit.
I mean, do you think the stock market's gonna fall again?
I mean, the stock market.
Because it's already starting to go down.
The stock market will be fine because there's never a hesitation for government intervention when it comes to the stock market. You know what I mean? The billionaires, all their shares, you're going to be good. You're going to get bailed out by I think the better view of how the economy is doing is not the stock market. That would be like the unemployment rate and, you know, mortgages, looking at what real everyday people have to go through. Like, I think like 80% of Americans don't even invest in the stock market. You know what I mean? So if that's doing well, that's not a good picture of how Americans are doing. You know what I mean? So, but with that being said, the reason I think the economy is we have a long way to go until shit really bounces back up is because I saw this person talking about, I gotta remember these names so I could give credit where credit's due, but somebody was referring to how in a year or so, that's when we're really going to see the total effects of it, because all these commercial buildings, they haven't been paying their rent to their commercial landlords because they haven't been open. They're not generating any revenue. So the businesses are not paying their landlords. The landlords use that rent that they usually get to pay the banks off their loans. So now the banks aren't getting their money, the landlords not getting their money, and the tenants themselves are not operating. So they're all getting ready to go to court for this. You know what I mean? To battle it out in court, and we're gonna see those effects like down the road. It's
gonna be a long term.
Haven't even started materializing yet. You know?
Yeah, a lot of these people that aren't paying their rent, aren't paying all this stuff. Yeah. Like, it's gonna be long term. You know, things are only gonna go back to normal when there's a vaccine. I think that's gonna happen at the beginning of if anything, the end of this year.
Yeah, a couple companies have been, you know.
I mean, because, well, the thing why it's going so fast, which is cool, is Bill Gates and I think somebody else as well, what they did is they already built the building for the vaccine. So all they need
is the
vaccine in order to put it in. Exactly. Because usually what they do is they wait till they find the vaccine and then they build the building and how to do it and everything of that side. So with this, they're building seven different manufacturing buildings preparing for... So there's a couple different options. I think there's like 12, 15, however many companies are trying to figure out a vaccine. Mm-hmm. And whoever comes up with a vaccine is just going to be uber wealthy.
Facts.
But they're building the infrastructure before the vaccine is made, which is speeding up the process. Because usually this whole process takes 10 years.
No, for
or
a vaccine?
Like maybe like 5 years, 4 years.
I think the average rate for a vaccine is like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 years. So they're trying to make it within a couple months.
Yeah.
So the only problem with that is they're not going to know the long-term side effects.
I'm not taking that vaccine when it first jump out.
Yeah.
You're going to have to catch me on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, bro. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I think, you know, I've seen videos on social media and things of that sort of like the bars and the clubs and things of that sort. After seeing those, I think we have a long ways going.
What do you mean? What'd you say?
So, I mean, it's not, there's no real, like, okay, some videos show, like, dancing, partying, clubbing, but a lot of them are sitting down, social distancing, ordering drinks, just a totally different nightlife style, you know? Now, even when the vaccine comes out, do you think that they're still going to be dancing and us right next to each other and things of that sort?
I think so eventually, only because people are fiending to get back to that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people use going out at night and, you know, having fun, partying, dancing. They use that as like a stress relief, you know, of their busy days. And I think that's why now, I don't know if there's any statistics on it, but like anxiety is going up, depression is going up, because there's no way for people to blow off steam, you know what I mean? After you work all day from home.
There's no distractions.
There's no distractions, no sports to watch, no, you know what I mean? You can only watch so many things on Netflix or whatever.
Well, yeah, and I actually saw a statistic where, like, the police started I don't know what area it was in, but it was something like they used to have, like, a shooting or a suicide, like, once a week or, like, once a day or something, and now it's 5 a day. And
suicide?
So they've increased dramatically. And
that's a good,
like you said, mental health, things of that sort have just sparked incredibly.
And yeah, that's a great point.
So it's like, yeah, we're opening up our things and more people may be getting it, but I think that just the people that are most vulnerable to it, 100% continue taking, you know, precautions, things of that sort. But I just think that for the mental health and the stability and things of that sort, I think it's important to keep it open, like, to some extent.
Some type of normalcy.
Some type of normalcy.
Yeah.
When the vaccine comes out, I think, I don't know.
It's tough. It's a tough decision, you know what I mean?
It really is.
Tough decision. But when you mentioned about the suicides, I'm thinking, imagine all the people when the world was, you know, pre-corona, imagine all the people that were not, they were dealing with mental health issues, but they were like on the edge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had just enough distractions to keep them like boiled over. Right now, like that shit is just spilling over.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really know how it was back in the days where, you know, the plague and things of that sort, how that all went about, but
I doubt they had any type of like government like plan to like, oh, everybody stay in your cottages and shit like that. Like back in the day, like motherfuckers just getting it.
They were out
like flies. You know what I mean? That's probably why it killed so many people.
Yeah. I mean, what else you got going on?
You know, man.
Any other hot topics?
No, that's it for me, man. What you got in here?
I mean, it's just, what do you think this week has got in store for us?
Next week, 4th of July is coming up, but like you said, states are closing back up, so if anything, people are just going to be drinking at home, talking to, you know, friends, family, small little gatherings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're for sure this week they're going to close like bars and clubs and stuff like that in Los Angeles. I think they're going to do that. I mean, did you hear about the whole Texas, how they changed the master bedroom into a primary bedroom?
Yeah, I didn't even know that term, I guess. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know that term stemmed from like, oh, like the main room was where the master slept. You know what I mean? Like dating back to slavery times. I didn't know that's where the term came from. If it didn't come from that and they're just like eliminating that because it may sound like it, I think that's kind of dumb. You know what I mean? But all these symbolic changes people are doing, all right, it's cool, but what about the tangible shit? Like, what about the law, like a strict federal law that says if a police officer is engaging with individuals and they purposely turn off their body cameras, automatic like termination of job. You know what I mean? Like pass laws that'll actually have an effect on the lives. All these like symbolic, like, oh, we're not going to say master bedroom anymore. I mean, that's not really helping. You know what I mean? It's either way it goes. It's not tangible to bring about change, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going it's going a little overboard, to be honest. Like the master bedroom, I mean, I could see, okay, well, I mean, it's too much, you know, like, I don't know.
Change ain't pretty, you know what I mean? Every time you want change and get change, there's going to be some collateral damage here and there, you know? But in the overall place we're all, you know, trying to go for is
everyone's always everyone's trying to, you know, you got to feel comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true too.
Also, you know.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But yeah, that's you got
That's
anything
it,
else,
man.
guys?
I think it's a rap skis.
Yep. All right.
Right on time.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. And
You already know, man. See y'all next week. Freshman
Deuces.
Feet. We out. Right on the money, bro. I said it for 45 minutes. 2 minutes. So we did for 43 minutes.
I wasn't sure because I didn't start mine.
Oh,
So I was like, fuck,
see,
I don't know.
somebody didn't do it.
Yeah.
We would have just been like,
I think we did good that one.
Yeah, this is best.
I think it was the best one.
In terms of flowing.
Yeah.
Best ever.